It's the Dell City Eagles Coaches Show with Cody Sparks and head coach Mike Dunn. This week featuring Issac Beverly, brought to you by Gregory's Sporting Goods at the corner of Everly and 29th in Dell City. Nightfall Haunted Territory, Oklahoma City's newest and most terrifying haunted attraction. And Redline Jiu-Jitsu, located on Enterprise Drive, just off South Kelly Drive in Edmond. And now, it's Cody Sparks and Coach Mike Dunn.
Hello and welcome to the Dell City Eagles Coaches Show. We're joined by head coach Mike Dunn. I'm Cody Sparks, and our director of operations, the good doctor making it happen, Brad Reed, on the other side of the technicalities. So we thank him very much for his time. Coach Mike, hey, it's a happy Tuesday here in Eagle Land. You headed down. Well, first off, we should say it is Midwest City Week. We got to say that. Yep. But before we get to talking about them, you headed down to Lawton, and we're anxious to hear how was the turf at Cameron, and maybe a little bit about the game against Lawton Ike.
Yeah, Cameron was good. The turf is a lot better. It was what we heard, that it was better than it used to be in the past, and had no injuries, so that's always a plus. It was good. Turf's good. As far as the trip went, things went as planned. We won. That's always our number one goal when we go on the road. And kids were businesslike. We talk about when we do take these trips that they're business trips. It's not what people remember is the win or the loss. It's not what happened before, what happened after. It's a business trip. Let's go take care of business, get on the bus, and get home with the win. So that happened. Kids played well. Kids played tough. We were the most aggressive team on the field. We're the most physical team. That's another one of our big goals every week. And we went out and offensively we played a lot better than we did in week one. Defensively, we flew around. It was a lot of fun to be a part of. Anytime you can start your weekend off with a win, it makes things a lot better. You sleep a lot easier on the weekend. So rolling into the big week now with Midwest City with a win, a little bit of momentum. That's always a good thing.
Definitely. I like to hear now that just a quick touch on it. When you head down there for a 7 o'clock game, how early do you have to leave Dell City? Bus ride. How do you kind of get everybody in gear for that?
Well, we left for this one at 3 o'clock. Our whole plan was try to be down there by 4:45. It's about an hour and a half trip. On a bus. With getting out about 3 o'clock, 3:05. We were there about 4:40. Before they get on the bus, we go ahead and we give them a sack lunch. So we don't have to spend time on most Fridays or game day. We have a team meal together. But we go on these longer trips, we'll just give them a sack lunch, get them on the bus. So we left early, get there in plenty of time to kind of relax, get to know the field. We walk the field right when we get there, come in, change. Our first group was out at about 5:45, start to warm up. So, hour and a half trip, we try to be there usually about 2 hours in advance.
That's great. And we are back with more from the Dell City Eagles Coaches Show. Of course, Mike Dunn here, head coach of the Eagles, and we are joined by Issac, the Iceman Beverly here, who has been working pretty hard these last couple weeks for Dell City, and we're going to hear more from him. Now, Coach Dunn, we mentioned we had a nice showing down there at Lawton Eisenhower, 40-14. 475 yards of total offense, a nice balance between passing and rushing, somewhere in the neighborhood of 200 passing, about 271 rushing. Some nice offensive stats there. One of the people putting in a lot of that effort for 5 catches and 150-plus yards, Mr. Issac Beverly right here. Now, Issac, tell us a little bit about last week's game.
I just kind of think everything is kind of clicking. I got a couple opportunities, and I made the best of it. I got a couple plays called my way, and I did what I was supposed to do, capitalize, and I helped my team win.
Hey, well, that's what we like to hear. From the first game to the second game, are you getting more kind of you feeling more comfortable with it?
From the gate, from the first game, I was comfortable. When we played the first game at home, I was pumped up. You can ask everybody on the team. I was ready to go. I was rolling.
I'm pretty sure I remember you coming out of the through the tunnel of people there. Yeah. You were pretty lit up coming out of there.
Yeah, from warm-ups to pregame to school, I was lit. I was ready. I was ready. So, coming into the second game, it was really just more like anxious, really. That's the kind of feeling I was having because I was ready to go have fun again because just thinking about the first game and how we just came out and dominated. We fell short, but, we came out and really had fun. So, I was waiting. I was living for it. I was ready to do it again.
Staying hungry, and I'm sure that's what you like to hear, Coach. Some of the other people we do want to mention, B.J. Muke's doing a lot of hard work on the ground there. Had a couple touchdowns. Now, Issac, you had 2 touchdowns. Is that correct?
Yeah.
One on the ground and one receiving. Tell us a little bit about the touchdown catch that you made.
Oh, yeah, I got the call from the sideline that I was supposed to run me a little post, so I got up there, and I could tell from the jump, from the get-go, I can just kind of tell when I go up to the line, I can kind of just read where, what I'm going to do. So I got me a little strategy, and everything kind of played out. Wood, he threw me a good ball. I caught it, and it was off to the races, and I was able to win. So.
Off to the races. That's what we like to hear. That's good times. Some of the other things, what about your rushing touchdown? How'd that set up?
Oh, that was in my little quarterback play. I be feeling like, I'm playing Madden again. I get back there, I line up, and it was just some good blocking up front and with our, heavy package, and I got it in there. I had to dive in there. I had a little NFL streets moment or something like that, but I got it in there.
But stretch them out.
Yeah.
Now, Coach, seeing Isaac, some of your other guys coming into this game from the last game, where were the major progressions in the offense?
I think our offensive line played a lot better from week 1 to week 2. You could tell that got really good. And we threw the ball and we caught the ball a lot better. I talked to you guys about it last week that I knew we could throw the ball and catch better than we did in week 1, and I told you it was a must. And so we went out when Jared was 9 of 14. So we hit on a lot of things. We hit some long ones. We hit some quick ones. We threw a bubble to Isaac that went for about 50 yards. Got caught on the one, but he almost put it in on that one. But
I put it in there.
Yeah, overall, we got better up front, which is what we wanted more than anything, is to see our offensive line step up. And you could tell that was a totally different group. And we pushed them hard last week in practice. I mean, it was our sense of urgency within the coaching staff. They fed off of it. And our offensive line, they knew they had to get better, and they played a lot more aggressive, is what we wanted to see. And we went out there and we pushed them around, and, that's why we rushed as well as we did. We could have thrown all night. We didn't have to. We were running the ball so well, eating up the clock and getting all kinds of rips. O'Shea had a really good game before he got hurt. He had 77 yards early on, and wasn't 6 or 7 carries. And he was
6
rolling.
carries.
Yeah, so – running game was there. So overall, I think our offensive line, if I had to say one area where we got a lot better in a week was there.
And now you being a offensive lineman yourself, I'm sure you take a little extra pride in that one.
I love it. I always tell those guys that, offensive line, you have to treat them different. They have to know that they're a special group because, within a football team, everybody has a job, but there's a lot more individual battles. We're a team, but there's a lot more one-on-one battles. When it's offensive line, it really is a true 5-man unit. Sometimes with us, we went out in the first play, we lined up with 2 tight ends. So, we were going to find any way we could to run the ball, and that helped with our guys getting better all last week. So we treat those guys different. We want them to know that they're a special group, and you have to form that bond between them if you ever want to get to where you want to go. So.
There is no more thankless job than an offensive lineman. And really probably one of the more, and it's not really recognized, but technique-wise, difficult positions to play because you match ups. You have to do different things: pass block, run block, pull block, and your balance, your hands, all those kind of things coming into play with it. Sure. How much do you have to work on just like footwork and stuff with them?
Well, the offensive line, they get a lot more individual time than most groups because there's a lot of times where, if we're working on any kind of passing game, they're down in the end zone, they're working pass protection. So they work during practice. They probably get the most individual time other than probably your corners, DBs. They get the most individual time, so they're constantly working on technique. That's when we have 2 offensive line coaches, and both of them were college football players. Both of them been coached at a high level, and you could tell it's starting to come around, and our offensive linemen are starting to pick up some of those habits, some of those things they're trying to teach. But, they're hitting the sled all day long. They're going over dummies all day long. They're going up against each other all day long. So they work. I mean, it's constant technique. It's constant, tough guy stuff, and they get the work in.
Now, Isaac, you didn't ever have any aspirations of playing offensive line, have you?
No, I mean, actually in middle school I played tight end, but that was about the closest thing to it. I got back there and I blocked. I had a lot of blocking plays, but, with my catching ability, they send me on routes a lot of times too. So
we'd rather make use of that than your expert blocking abilities. Yeah. I understand that. Hey, if you're faster downfield, we'll put you there. You leave slow guys like me back in the back to catch up.
I've been gaining weight, man. I might be down there and be able to hold my own.
I don't doubt you, man. I don't doubt you. Hey, plus you're fast, so that makes a difference.
Heart of a line.
See, of course, we mentioned Jeff Foreman had a big game too. Jeff had two interceptions.
He did. Yep. He got up. One was on a 2-point conversion, which was big for us at the time because they were still in the game a little bit at the point Lawton Ike was, and we went and got a interception on a 2-point conversion, so saved you a couple points there. And then his other interception was in the end zone as well. So Anthony Goodlow tipped the ball, and Jeff came down with it. So two times where we hold him out just off those 2 interceptions. So those were big. Real big for us.
Tip drill's paying off there now. All right, yep. That's exciting to see. Now, some of the other just major key points that you want to recap about the Lawton Ike game. What are overall thoughts of it?
Well, I thought defensively there were a couple times. One big play that it's kind of one of those that's the hidden part of the game. Well, the very first kickoff, we always talk about one of our main goals on defense is to not give up a score on the first possession of each half. So we come out and we got to kick off. Well, our kicking game wasn't very good, and we kick off, and they return it. Their quarterback returns it down, and he's broke free. I mean, he's on his way to scoring a touchdown. But our backside safety, Kobe Higgins, who's one of our starting corners, he hustles, runs it down, and catches him probably about the 20-yard line. Well, then a play later, they're down on the 5-yard line. Well, then we back them up, and they didn't end up getting any points out of it. So one of those hidden parts of the game where Kobe, just off a hustle play, he instead of letting up and letting him go score on the return, he tackles him, and then we hold him out of the end zone. So I thought that was a big swing because at that point we were up, I think, 22-6 or 21-6, something like that. So that would have put it into a one-score game, if he capitalizes on that or if Kobe holds up. But he went down and got him. So I thought that was a major key. There was a lot of points in the game that I thought, we stepped up big time. We had a 97-yard run.
Can't beat that.
Yeah, we had a 70-yard run. We had some really, really big plays, which was fun to see. That's one of the things I envisioned when I came to Del City is we've got good athletes and we've got guys that are explosive, and we had explosive plays. And that was good to see because the first week we had a couple, but this week, we had 5 or 6. It was good.
Does that add to the fun level as part of getting to play in the game when as opposed to just grinding it out each play you get the big plays?
Most definitely. Every time I line up to the line, I'm just like, all right, this could be my play right here. So that's why I don't really like the whole taking plays off that type thing because you never know. Like you really never know in the game of football. Like you never know, especially in varsity. Like you make that wrong read, it's touchdown. So it's just you really got to be in your P's and Q's. So it really make it fun to just be able to go out there and make big plays and just
no taking plays off.
Yeah.
There's no better statement. Don't take the play off. They'll find you.
Yeah, miss opportunity.
Now, of course, we move out of Lawton Ike. You had a Thursday night game, so you get a little extra day of rest there over the weekend. Isaac, how'd you spend your weekend?
Resting. I know that for sure because, coming out of the Bishop game, we still had to, we had to jump right back into it kind of fast. We had a short week, so it wasn't a lot of rehabbing. It was still like a lot of, getting after it. So we just, I took the weekend to just kind of rest and get off my feet a little bit, do a little stretch and stuff like that, and, just kind of enjoy myself, kick back, watch a little TV.
There you go. What do you normally watch?
Catfish, that's my show right there.
There you go.
It's pretty funny. Catfish. Max and Neve, they get the job done. You can't hide nothing from them.
Now, Isaac, while we're asking the questions, what's if you're gonna listen to some tunes before the game, what's the jam?
Ooh, man, I'm kind of like, I don't know. I guess I just don't really listen to one genre of music. I like to, listen to everything. But before the game, probably a Mozzie type, energetic song. But he got different songs. But Afraid, I like the song Afraid, or Tomorrow Ain't Promised, because it puts me in that mind state to where when I get out on the field, I got to capitalize on everything or every opportunity that I get, because tomorrow's not promised. You never know. I might not be able to step on the field again. Like, I was on the field with my brother before he got hurt, and we were just talking about how we finna go beat them, and then next week we got Middle City game, and he not going to get to play during that game, you know what I mean? So it's just kind of like opens your eyes when I listen to that song to just go out and, get it all today. Get it all today.
Good. I like that attitude. Now, speaking of, look forward to Midwest City, and Coach and I have talked about it, that we don't think the rivalry actually has a good name, Isaac, and we're thinking about the Sooner Road rivalry or the Battle for Sooner Road. What do you think? Are you into those?
Oh, I like the Battle for Sooner Road because I definitely like to go to battle. Battle for Sooner Road. I like to have that because it's like you battling for Sooner Road, so you win. That's your road.
There you go.
It's not none of that Sooner Road rival because that's kind of like y'all both hold a little something. No, I want to have it.
You want both sides of it.
I want to own it. I want to be able to drive down Sooner like this is us.
Want both sides of the lanes. I got you. Well, that looks exciting. Now, Coach, you said Midwest City now 1-1, but don't let that fool you. They are plenty stacked with athletes.
Sure. Yeah. They've played 2 good games just like we have. You know, they won their first one against Muskogee. It's always good. And then Booker T, which is one of the top teams in 6A2, Booker T turned around and beat Midwest City in overtime. So that was a good game for them. But it's a lot like us. I mean, we felt like we could have won in our first game against a number 1 team in the state or number 2. So it's a top 10 matchup. I guarantee you when it comes out, it'll be a top 5 game in the state. I don't see another game being better than this one. But 2 teams that have a lot. A bright future, especially right now this season. So it's going to be a lot of people there. It's going to be a great atmosphere. It always is. It doesn't matter. Even if Midwest City was 0-10 and we were 10-0 and we were playing each other, it's always going to be a good game. So,
and people turn out. I know last year here at Del City, the line out the door, get here early and find a spot to sit. And
sure, it'll be the same way over there on Friday. It'll be standing room only. A lot of times they bring in stands for this game. I don't know what their plan is for this week, but it'll be packed. It's going to be a packed house. There's going to be a lot of people from the community there. It's going to be a lot of fun because a lot of people don't. It's rare to go to a high school football game and see 5 or 6 Division I football players on the field at the same time. And right now we've got 2 or 3 on our side, and they've got 2 or 3. There's 4 players in this game that are top 30 in the state of Oklahoma. So we have 2 on our side with Isaac and Anthony Goodlow. And they've got 2 on theirs with Jalen Redmond and Tiasis Vick. So it's going to be there'll be scouts, there'll be football coaches, there'll be college coaches. It's going to be a big time atmosphere.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Sounds like a good time. In
Sure.
case you'd like to join us, we'll be out at the Rose Stadium at 7 p.m. Friday night. So get on over to Midwest City. Now, of course, with the close proximity of each school, Isaac, I'm sure you may have grown up knowing some of the kids that are on the Midwest City team. Or at least you've seen them enough times that you get to know them.
Yeah, most definitely.
What kind of rivalry is it for you? And have you grown up here for most of your life? Or
yeah, I've never lived outside of Del City. I'm a real live Del City kid. Like 17 years, I've never stepped foot out of Del City. I came home right up here on Scott Street, right here in Reno, right around the corner from the school, and I just been moving in the same little square ever since then. So the guys that I see at school or, I might hang out with, I'm like real life grew up with them. Like it's really a family. So, when we go play somebody else, we've been kind of playing these same people for the longest. So it's kind of like, it's more of a friendship, but it makes it more fun and it makes the rival more intense.
Yeah.
You know 'em. So it's like, you're going to see them again. So you want to have those bragging rights. Like, I did this during the game. And what did you do? Who? So, it's fun, though. It's always a fun game. Always. You always, sometimes you shed a couple tears afterwards because you just like, man, it was fun. But you look back at it and you're just kind of like, dang, I kind of wish we had it. But it's cool.
Well, keep getting down and digging against them. The excitement there being, like you said, a lot of D1 talent on the field and 2 good teams matching up. What can we expect to see from Midwest City? Are they going to be more trying to air the ball out, or will we see more of a ground game, or do they keep it pretty balanced?
They're pretty balanced. Yeah, they're pretty balanced. They've got a power running game. They don't play with 2 backs in the backfield, but they'll play with 2 tight ends. So you'll see us, we'll get in 2 tight ends, then we'll be 4 wide one play. They're kind of the same way. Power football, they've got 2 big running backs that both can get downhill. If you allow them to do that, they've got a quarterback that's more than capable of airing it out too. So, they balance up with what they do. They're about 50-50, and they can make plays outside. They've got a good receiver, a kid named Jawan Walker, I believe, who's a good player. Preston Colbert's their quarterback. He's been playing since he was a freshman. He's a junior now, so he's got lots of experience. They're a tough matchup because, like I said, you can't really get a beat on them personnel-wise. They keep the same guys out there, and they'll get in 4 wide, and then they'll get in 2 tight the next play with the same guys on the field. So personnel-wise, they do a good job of switching you up without actually bringing substitutes
People in and
on.
off, yeah.
Yeah, so they kind of keep, as a defensive coordinator, as a coach trying to call it, they keep you on your toes that way.
Does that help them keep their tempo up, going a little bit faster, or do they really try to?
Yeah, they're not an extreme up tempo team. You know, they're not on the clock snapping it with 5 seconds off the play clock. You know, they're not big time up tempo. I think they've got it in their package.
Yeah.
They can if they want to, but so far what we've seen, it's not just now. You know, they've got a couple plays where they'll get on the ball right now and they'll try to do something that's usually short yardage, but. They're not just big time up tempo like you see college, like OU, what they do. They're not that fast.
Now going in, of course, you know, your first year here for a big rivalry, and Isaac's seen him before.
Yep.
Is there any kind of traditions that we do before the Midwest City game, or is there?
He can answer that better than me.
It's a bit of a patriotic battle. We got Eagles versus Bombers.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's the winged entities that are taking each other on.
Yeah.
Well, we most definitely always eat good before the games, always. I mean, but that's any game, though. You know, we always get a good meal. But Midwest City does City game. I can always say every year that I played, it's always been a fantastic meal, whether it's from the parents, whether it's from, you know, going to get it from a place or anything like that. And, I mean, win-win week is always fun. Like, through the whole week, we got our Stuco people, they put together fun stuff for us. Miss Cooper and everybody else, they just, you know, they decorate the school. They have different events for us and everything, and it's just a fun environment to be in, and it really brings a lot of, you know, happiness to the school.
I think that's great that you recognize kind of, you know, the student council and all the teachers.
Most definitely. I'm, you know, I talk to some of those people. You know, I'm friends with, you know, a couple of those people that's, you know, that's in that. You know, one of our receivers, actually, he's a Stuco president. So, you know, I've been going to school with him for a while too. I've been knowing him, and so
Who's that?
Xavier.
Okay.
I'm pretty, you know, I know I'm supportive of them. They got my support 100%. Like, whatever they're doing, they need me to do anything, I'm there. You know what I mean?
Well, we'll volunteer you for treasurer next year then. How's that?
Oh, most definitely. Go ahead.
I'll say if they give him another year of
I'm
eligibility.
about to say, yeah,
come
well,
on.
I'm sure they
bring him back.
Now, Isaac may not be surprised if you want to show everybody, but you're getting mail here at the school. We should go ahead, when we say D1, actually, when he walks in here, he's got a letter with Pistol Pete and all his fine orange regalia. And that letter brought to you by the Oklahoma State football office. It might just be updating him about his season tickets, or hey, maybe he'd like to come down and be one of those people pay to, you know, have season tickets.
It could be Mike Gundy trying to distract him, because, you know, Mike Gundy's an old Bomber.
Yeah.
It is Bomber week. It might be trying to distract
Man.
us.
Okay, it might be an angle here. Let me not get too excited.
Yeah, we got to watch that guy.
Mike Gundy might have sent you a coupon for a free haircut in there. You know, when you thought the "I'm a man" thing was the worst thing he was going to do, he got that haircut. And it all changes after that.
The gullet.
That's a good name for it. Oh, all right, Coach. We got Midwest City looking forward. Any other kind of things we want to mention about that game, or other than tell folks to come on out?
Yeah, well, I mean, like I said, it's a rare opportunity. I mean, you don't get to see that every single day. You don't get to see that much talent on one field, and then it be a rivalry game. So we've talked about it before. We talked about it yesterday. In 10 years, you're going to remember this. You know, and we've got all this stuff going on, but what people always remember is who won the game. That's what when they see each other. And you know, it's funny, I was thinking about it yesterday, and when you look at this, we're not really enemies with Midwest City, you know, because like you said, these guys have known each other forever. They're friends. We're friends with their coaching staff. But on Friday night, for those 48 minutes, you know, we're going to be competitors.
Yeah.
We're going to go battle. You know, would you rather beat your enemy or beat your friends? We're going to know these. We're going to see these guys the rest of our lives. We're going to be around them, you know. So we want to beat them to have the bragging rights.
Exactly.
So, you know, that's what people are going to remember about this, you know, who won the game.
I'm with you. They don't forget who wins it.
Sure.
One other little roundup here before we finish out. I did notice you have a lovely Del City Eagles women's volleyball media guide here for 2017. Now, this is a pretty cool little deal.
It is.
Tell us a little bit about what's going on with the volleyball squad right now.
Volleyball squad is working hard. They're getting better. They're under a new coach, Coach Terry Willie, and she's doing a great job with them. You know, what's cool about Del City is our kids, they support. And so you'll go to a volleyball game, and there'll be, 35, 40 of these guys that walk over from football practice and go sit in the stands and support, And so, it's fun watching the girls compete. We've got some very athletic girls. And our girls' sports, they do a lot. They're not just single one sport. They do a lot of things. So, like Lexi Pogue right here, she's a state champion in track. And so they do all kinds of stuff, so it's fun watching everybody support each other. Aubrey Freeman, her brother played football here at Del City. He's been a part of this Midwest City game. I got to watch it 2 years ago, Midwest City, Del City, and her brother played really well in that game. So, it's fun. That's one of the cool things about Del City is everybody supports each other. So that's always good.
This is a nice put-together program.
It is.
I tell you what, I don't remember having anything like this for the baseball program when I was playing.
It is. We've got our football media guide is going to be we'll have it for our first home game here in a couple of weeks when Altus comes here. So we'll be able to kick those out. And I've already seen them, and they look spectacular. They're just like this. And, it's something we just haven't done. It hasn't been done around here in a while, having stuff this nice. And so it does. It's a little thing, but it really does. Our parents love it. I got so many calls because we had game day programs for the first time on Friday night against McGinnis, and they hadn't seen that. And so they looked at it, and I was getting calls and texts all weekend. Those programs look really nice. Those, game day programs just haven't seen it. So it's been pretty cool. I mean, this stuff, it's a small thing, but it does bring a little bit more morale and the school spirit. And for the kids, they get to see themselves on print. It's just another way to honor them and recognize them for their talents and what they bring to the table.
All the time they spend putting in on those practice fields.
No doubt.
People don't, I think, often recognize that you're out there for 3 hours a day nearly, and not to mention time outside of practice, on their own that they're doing things, and
they put the work in. We're 6 days a week with our players. Coaches, we're 7 days a week. We're here all weekend trying to put together a good game plan to put these guys in positions to make plays, but they put the work in. Isaac will tell you we're here Saturdays. We don't take days off.
We don't just. It's not no regular film session, man. You can't show up to this film session in those slides, man.
You can't show up in your house shoes. And,
no, sir. No, sir.
Yeah.
No, sir. You're going to waste a day. You're going to waste days.
Gotcha. Hey, that's good mentality to have. Now, Isaac, you got any more thoughts coming in for the Midwest City game?
Just wear your pink, man. Pink out. Wear as much pink as you can. Be there, support.
Yeah.
Bring your bills, bring everything. Bring your camera phones, bring your friends, bring your family. Just have fun, man.
Bring your popcorn.
Man, bring it all.
We'll hope Midwest City has the concession stand.
Oh, they'll be ready. They'll be ready.
Maybe they've added one over there. Again, the game this Friday night. 7 o'clock. We'll have it. I believe we'll be there if Brad is nodding his head, and the IT people make it all work for us.
They'll take care of you.
We will be there bringing you the game live, of course, on American Broadcasting School's Facebook and radioschool.com, our Eagle Vision page, and we'll even get it loaded up to YouTube at some point too, which is nice.
It is awesome.
A lot of exposure. So, any other closing words, Coach?
Yeah, with the parents and just anybody else that's going to be on the Del City side, feel free to channel along with the student section. We need all support we can get.
There you go.
I like it.
It is. It's win-win week, like Isaac said a while ago. And if you're not familiar with that, it's statewide, and I think we're 5-time state champs here during win-win week. And it's basically raising money for cancer. I don't know if it's breast cancer. I can't remember which form, but it's basically for cancer. Yeah. And that's why when he said it's pink out, every year during this week we pink out for the game. So their side will be in pink, I think, and we'll be in pink on our side as well. Is how it works. But it's a fundraiser to raise money.
I know we do pink every year on our side.
Yeah, and we're big about it here. Miss Cooper, our student council leader, she's awesome, and she's the one like with our student section. Like last week or Monday or Bishop McGinnis, they had the America theme. Yeah, she has a theme for all our home games, and so we support her and we support everything that she does, and it's a lot of fun to see her bring the school together with what she does. So win week, we're trying to go win another state championship and bring the trophy and keep it here. I think we won it last year, so we're going to keep it here this year.
Hey, that's awesome. Definitely great to raise money, especially for good causes. Breast cancer and any cancer form, man, it just takes too many people people too soon.
Yep.
And we definitely want to support anything like that. So wear your pink. If not, if you don't have any pink, wear white and red together, and those mix and make pink. So you'll still be in your Dale City colors no matter what. Hey, for Coach Mike Dunn, for the Iceman Isaac Beverly, and future Division I football player, get a look at him on Saturdays, or get a look on him on Fridays before you watch him on Saturdays. Come on out this Friday night. We'll be at Rose Stadium, Midwest City, and we'll have the battle for Sooner Road. For Eagle Vision, for Brad Reed, I'm Cody Sparks. Have a great day.